Cycle 3, week 23, hands-on science, using the Foundations Guide. This is all about what are the odds. So in storytelling, we talk more often about odds than we do about probability. An underdog may have the odds stacked against them, while the hero often has the odds in their favor. Have you ever heard that in a story? You know, if you're well behaved, you might know that the odds are good that your parents will be pleased. While if your behavior is not good, the odds are your parents are going to be pretty unhappy with you. Have you guys ever heard that before? The odds? You heard that before? When have you heard it? Have you ever heard it in a story? Or have parents said it to you? Tell me about it. Well, to start today's lesson, I want you guys to split into two. So I want all the groups to split into two, okay? So I've got a group over here, and I've got a group over here. Now, I am going to give one group a treat based on a coin toss. Is that going to be fair? Why or why not? To decide who gets the treat. Do you think that would be fair? I mean, of course, you want the treat, right? So it seems like it's not fair if I don't get the treat. But if I have two groups and I'm going to flip a coin to see who gets it, are the odds the same for both of you? Yes, they are, right? They are the same, so they are technically fair. We're not actually going to have a treat, but what I want you guys to do is work in pairs, and just like we did the first week of this quarter, I want you guys to flip the coin 12 times and keep track of heads versus tails, okay? Do you remember what that probability was that we would get when we flip a coin? Desired outcomes over total outcomes. How many total outcomes in a coin toss? 2, right? And you're going to choose any one of your desired outcomes, either heads or tails. So there's 1 desired outcome, so 1 over 2. So let's flip the coin 12 times and see if you get close to a 1 over 2 coin toss. So if we're going to do 12 tosses, then what's going to be pretty close to 1 over 2? What's going to be pretty close? 6, right? Let's see if we can get pretty close to 6. So work in pairs. Flip your coin 12 times. Heads, tails, T-chart. Make your hash marks. Okay, and see how close you get. And write down what your probability was. What probability did you and your partner get? In this case, I didn't actually flip the coin, but in this case, I got 7 heads, so 7 out of 12, and 5 tails, 5 out of 12. So that's reasonably close to 6. Remind me, how can I get closer to 6? I can increase the total number of outcomes, right? I can flip the coin more times. So the more I flip the coin, the closer it's going to get to 6 over 12, to 1/2, to 1 out of 2. Now let's change the problem. Instead of flipping a coin, what if we roll a dice? What if we say that this team will get the treat if we land on a 1 or a 2, and this team will get the treat if we land on a 3, 4, 5, or 6. What do you think the odds are that this team is going to win the treat? You think they have a better odds or worse odds? They have worse odds because they've only got 2 numbers to come up. But this team, they have good odds. They have much better odds of winning because they have more numbers that might be able to come up. So when we talk about odds, we're talking about a ratio. And that we use a colon. So in probability, we use a fraction to talk about what we're talking about, but with odds, we're going to use a colon and a ratio. So here we have 2 outcomes to 4 outcomes. 2 to 4 outcomes. When we flipped a coin, our ratio was 1 to 1 because you could either get heads or you could get tails. Both of those was 1 outcome, so it was 1 to 1. So why don't we roll the die and see what we get. Let's try and roll the die 12 times and see how many times each of these numbers come up, okay? So if we roll the die, we should get something similar to this. So this is 4 over 12, 12 rolls, and this is 8 rolls, or not, yeah, rolls of the dice over 12. So this reduces to 1 in 3 chances of getting a 1 or a 2, and this is 2 out of 3 chances of getting one of these numbers. So the odds here are much, much better. So you see in our ratio, our odds 2 to 4, 2 numbers to 4 numbers, and because this is the probability, it's a 1/3 chance of getting a 1 to 2 and a 2/3 chances of getting 3, 4, 5, or 6. So both of these things can tell us a lot. Odds are usually telling us the ratio of desired outcomes, which in this case would be 4, right, to the two not desired outcomes. So we'd rather have this outcome of 4 than this outcome of 2. Even odds are 1 to 1. The for and against are even. When we're playing a game, we usually consider even odds to be fair. So in this case, these odds are not at all fair. So you guys can roll the die some more and see if this changes or if it stays about the same. You can flip your coin some more and see if you can get that close to 1/2. But this is week 23.